At this time, I am happy to announce our commencement speaker, Stuart Comstock-Gay. Stuart serves as the president and CEO of the Vermont Community Foundation, an organization that contributes dramatically to the quality of life in our state. Stu is a graduate of Bucknell University and holds a Master's of Public Administration from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. He draws on decades of experience working in various fields, all of which revolve around helping others and strengthening good causes. He has written for numerous national publications, has been a regular as a radio commentator, and has spoken before hundreds of audiences on a wide range of issues. We are delighted that he could join us today and address the class of 2014. Stu.
Thank you, Joyce. All right, wow, a lot of people here. I'll try to speak up. So let me start. Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here, and Chancellor Donovan, and President Joyce, Chairman Moore, and Olivia. What a great speech, huh? And all of you, of course, the students particularly. I am a huge fan of CCV, and you guys get sick of hearing, no, you don't get sick of hearing everybody say how wonderful this institution is, because it really is a wonderful institution. It's such an important part of this state, and I couldn't be more proud that we get to work with Joyce and the others at that school, at your school regularly. And it's an honor to be here. So what I'm going to do today is talk to you a little bit about some observations that I've had about life and people who are successful in life, and talk to you about some suggestions I have as you move forward. But before I do, I want to emphasize my congratulations, because what you've accomplished today is important, impressive, and real. You have changed your lives and the lives of everyone around you by achieving this degree you've achieved today. Your pursuit of higher education is a great part of Vermont's future. The fact that you're taking control of your lives, it really matters to you and to everybody around you. Each of you has the potential to do great things, to make our communities stronger. So thank you and congratulations. And then additional congratulations to the 58 of you who have some connections, either as veterans or currently serving with the military. We're real proud to be working with CCV on the programs to try to encourage more of that, and real proud that CCV is doing such good work in that area. So, over the next few months and on into the rest of your lives, you are going to be confronted with lots of decisions. A number of decisions, and some are going to seem small and unimportant. What I want to do to you today is suggest that some of those small decisions you make are far more important than you think. And I'm going to talk about 4 decision points and present my humble suggestions. I am a graduation speaker after all. My humble suggestions on how you might answer them. But before I get started with that, you may ask yourself, really, who is this guy and why should I pay attention to him? A fair question. So let me say a few more words about the Vermont Community Foundation. You've heard that I'm the president of this institution. So what we do is this. There are thousands and thousands of foundations in the country, and they make grants, gifts, sometimes for scholarship programs to help individuals, and oftentimes to support nonprofit organizations. They all have some purpose or another. Perhaps it's international health, perhaps it's arts programming in San Francisco. What we do at the Vermont Community Foundation is support nonprofit organizations with thousands of grants to hundreds of organizations every year, whether it's the Red Cross, whether it's a school organization, whether it's arts or environmental organization, to help them do their work better. That's what we do. For me, I've spent my career thinking about how you make communities better, how you make them stronger, and what works to do that. I believe deeply in the twin American ideals of liberty and of democracy. And of liberty, on the one hand, the idea that individuals have the right to pursue their own path, and of democracy, of community, on the other hand, that we are best when we come together to work together toward common ends. That's what I work on, and every job I've ever had has been somewhere in there. The sense of community is what drives me, and I know that when people come together, we can make a difference. And as I said, in that work, I have seen characteristics of people who are most effective at making that difference, and that's what I want to talk about. So I'll start with a story. Picture somebody. I'm going to call her Sally. Sally's not in great health. She doesn't exercise much. She doesn't feel very good. She's a little lonely. She lives alone. She's a lifetime smoker. Somebody who's not a member of any organization, not the Rotary Club, not her church. She doesn't volunteer anywhere. She's lonely and she doesn't feel very good. Now, here's a fact that I'm obsessed with. It is an almost even call whether Sally can improve her life more by quitting smoking or joining one organization. Think about that. She quit smoking. We all know that. We've heard the data on that. That's really good for your health. But if she joins an organization, that has almost as much value to her health. I find that stunning. And indeed, for all of you out here, if you're not a member of any organization at all, you don't participate with any group at all, if you join any one organization tomorrow and get involved, you decrease your chances of dying in the next year by 50%. Join one organization and get involved, and you decrease your chances of dying by 50%, by half in the next year. And if you join another one and get involved with that, you cut it by another 50%. Now, I hear you out there saying, and if I keep joining, is there immortality here? No, there's no immortality. But here's the deal. Smoking is something we know is dangerous. It shortens lives. And equally true is that being alone shortens lives. On every indicator of health, being part of your community by volunteering, joining, helping, participating, these things make you live longer. Our lives are simply better when we are together. We're happier, we're healthier, and we live longer. So decision point number one is this. When someone in the next few months, sometime in the next few months, somebody comes to you and says, hey, you want to help me coach this soccer team? Or can you help us organize the church supper? Or whatever it is, do it. Join, take part. It will help the community, it will help you, and you may even live longer because of it. A former boss of mine had a nameplate on his desk that said, "Nothing you do is wasted." What he meant is that when you think you'll be wasting your time at a meeting, at a dinner, or any kind of gathering, something will happen there that you didn't expect, and you will be glad you're there. And I want to add, when you do that, you'll also improve your health and your life. Join and show up because magical things can happen. It's where you leave yourself an opportunity for serendipity to tap you on the shoulder. Maybe you'll learn about a new business opportunity. Maybe you'll meet somebody who will knock your socks off. You know, change your life, your soulmate, a best friend, a lifelong mentor. Maybe you'll get a promotion because you were present. Maybe you'll find out about a new job. And in the meantime, your health and well-being will improve. So join. Second, you're in line at the grocery store and the clerk says, hey, you want to add $1 to go to the American Heart Association fundraiser? An easy thing to do? Do it. But how about these? A friend asks you, hey, will you help me move to a new apartment this weekend? A neighbor tells you about a cause they're supporting and they ask you to support them. Or somebody says, we need young people to serve as mentors to children. What I want to say to you here is, do it. Be willing to give your time and your money, contribute what you can. It will be good for you, and it will be good for your community. There's a study from 2008 in which researchers gave money to college students, $5 or $20, randomly gave this cash out. And they said to the students, go out today and spend this money on yourselves, on somebody else, it's up to you. So the students all went out, and some of them bought lunch, some of them bought little gifts for themselves, some of them bought lunch for somebody else or gave the money outright to somebody else. And that evening, the researchers contacted all of these students. And they asked them questions. They said, how do you feel after spending that money in whatever way you spent it? Using it, giving it away. How do you feel? And the responses were simple and they were clear. Those who spent the money on others were far happier than those who spent the money on themselves. And just like joining any group is good for you, so too is volunteering and giving to others. Being generous with your time and money has been shown to improve your health. You know this from your own experience. You know you feel good about yourself when you give time or money. Giving is good for all of us. So when you're asked to join something, do it. When you have a chance to be generous, take it. Third, don't be fearful. Olivia talked about this with the Everest. And by that I mean, take some calculated risks in your life. When you're confronted with a choice that makes you uncomfortable, don't immediately say no because it makes you nervous. I don't mean breaking the law. I mean you'll have opportunities in your life and you need to be open to those chances. So you're at your job and somebody says, hey, the president of our company is gathering a team to think about the future of our company, and you're nervous and the president intimidates you, but you've been invited. Seize that opportunity. Or somebody tells you about a new job that interests you, but you're afraid. Be curious. Try new things. When you know something is right, but you're a little bit nervous, lean into it and take some risks. Think about a time that you signed up for a class, maybe a math class, in an area where you really didn't know much and you were nervous. Could be physics, human resource management, math, whatever it is. Remember the trepidation you had when you started and the great feelings you had when you accomplished something new. Even if you don't always succeed, that's okay too. All of us have failed in our lives. I've failed in my lives many times, but it's only through failure and trying the new things that you'll really find yourself and achieve wonderful things. The people who never make choices that involve some risk will rarely get as far. The best things in my life involve some risk. I left the comfort of my life in Ohio with my family and we moved east. My wife and I took our 3 kids. We moved from Baltimore 500 miles north to pursue new opportunities. Those were not easy things to do. There was trepidation, there was angst, but those have made our lives better. Do you know the story of Frederick Smith? So, he founded FedEx, the shipping company, in the early 1970s, and his big idea was that you could take packages from anywhere in the country, send them to Memphis, and back out where they were going to go overnight. It may seem simple now, but at the time, it was Looney Tunes, right? You're going to send a package from Burlington to Memphis to get to Rutland the next day? What are you thinking? Well, the bankers thought he was loony. They weren't going to loan him money. He maxed out his personal credit cards to make that company go. I'm sure he was nervous, but he didn't let that fear get in the way of pursuing that vision and that thing he cared about. Today, of course, Frederick Smith is a story of huge success, and FedEx, well, I hardly need to tell you what a successful company that is. The most successful people I know are the ones that are always looking for new ideas and new information, new ways of looking at things, and they don't let fear or fear of failure prevent them from doing the thing or paralyze them. They lean into the possibilities before them. So, when you're asked to join something, do it. When you have a chance to be generous, take it. When you have a new opportunity, don't let fear paralyze you. And finally, and really perhaps most important, when you're joining, being generous, taking chances, Know what's most important to you and focus on it. There's a metaphor I like a lot. It's helped me many times and clarify what I want to be working on. Some of you will have heard this, but I repeat it even so, because it's so useful. In fact, when I asked my kids, what advice did I give you that was any good to you, this is the one thing they told me. So, imagine you have a bucket. And next to the bucket are a few big rocks. And then there's a pile of stones, and then there's a pile of sand. So, take the sand and put it in that bucket. And then take the stones and put them on top of the sand. And then take those big rocks and they don't fit, do they? Well, start all over. Start with the stones. Put those stones in the bucket. And then put the rocks in the bucket. And then take those stones and you drop them in and they'll find their way around the rocks. And then take the sand and it'll sift through and you'll get a whole lot of that in there. Now, think of the bucket as your time and attention. The big rocks, they're the things that are most important to you. For most of us, family and friends, health, perhaps religion. The sand is the nits and grits of day-to-day life. It's the stuff you gotta get done, but it's less important to you and where you're going than those big rocks. The decision point for you all is this. Spend some time this summer and think about your rocks. They will change over time. Right now, it may be career and friends, career and family. I'm not sure what it is for you. Perhaps religion. Later, if you don't have kids now and you do have kids later, it's likely to be your kids. The point is, know what matters to you and focus on that first. And really, that's the first decision. The rest follow from there. What's most important to you? Figure that out and fill your bucket up with those rocks. And that's what I've got today. 4 decision points you'll face. When you're asked to join something, do it. When you have a chance to be generous, take it. When you have a new opportunity, don't let fear paralyze you. And fill your bucket of time with the most important rocks first. You've already shown many of the decision-making skills I mentioned here. You've already made good decisions just by pursuing this degree. But pay attention to these, and I think they will work. Congratulations again. Now, go do great things.